Welcome back, everyone. Today is episode 2 of the Zero Build Meta. We're going to be talking about some overpowered things in the game right now, and I think we should just jump right into it. So we talked about the Avatar mythics last week, but I want to talk a little bit more about a couple of them, specifically the air bending to start. So after playing with this for like another week, it's obvious that this is just too good. Very, very powerful in late game situations when you can kind of just rotate anywhere endlessly. I've been doing this myself because of just how powerful it is. Oh, simply to like see how good it is. It's not my preferred style of play, but you can absolutely just run around kind of all over the place in some end games. I'm going to have some footage on screen right now of an end game where I was like, this is the first day I was like, let me try this out. And it worked way better than it should have. So the air bending, in my opinion, should be similar to the wings, you know, where you can use it for a period of time and then it has to cool down. The fact that you can just kind of go on endlessly means that it feels like you need to have it if you want to keep up with someone who is using it. And I don't really like that kind of situation where I feel like an item and a weapon and this and that in Fortnite / any video game should be a good counter to another item or a good option to another item. It shouldn't be, if you're playing this is the one option you have, and if you're not playing this, then you have no chance to keep up with it and you're kind of out of luck. So I think that the air bending should be nerfed personally. I know that it's going to be going away in like about 2 weeks now, a week and a half now, something like that. So I don't know why Epic does things like this, honestly. I mean, the wings were very balanced in my opinion, in the fact that you could use them when you weren't really around people, but if you were around people, you had to be very, very careful. You had to dash left and right. You had to, boost forward a lot. Even then, they were very, weak. The best way for the wings to be more balanced was for the hurt box to not be as big, not be the full size of the wings, but that's neither here nor there. Currently, air bending is a little bit too strong. While you can get shot out of it, you can't get, like, I don't know the best way to word it. You can't get your momentum ever halted, because like a car, for example, if you put, say, about a clip and a half into it from just a Warforged, it's going to get destroyed. If you EMP it, it's going to get, disabled. So there's ways to slow down people who are moving. And then also the angle at which you can climb with airbending is even greater than that of the G-Wagon, which is already quite excessive. You can get pretty steep cliffs on the G-Wagon, but the airbending can go almost vertical, it feels like. So it's just a little too good. It's just a little too good. When you have the double jump and Flowberry, it actually works. I'll do like a short, or like I'll try to get some footage of this for next week's example, or maybe I'll try to do something, maybe a short would be best, so I can get it out quicker. But if you have the Flowberry effect and you do the double jump, you go really far with this. I saw this on what I should do is I should put in the clip that I saw from Zeraxis' last video. This is when I first saw this. Maybe I'll edit that in. Zeraxis had a clip where he Flowberry jumped, and it was like really, really far. He caught up with an opponent. It was top tier. If you guys don't know Zeraxis, YouTube him. He's amazing. ZARRAXUS, I believe is how you spell his name, but check him out. He just posted like a 30 kill win in a solo gameplay Unreal lobby. It is insane. So this dude is nuts. But yeah, so go check him out for sure. That's definitely part of the zero build meta for sure, is checking out someone like him.
He just shocked again. I'm like, come on. And again. Whoa. Oh, what is that movement I just did?
He is amazing. So, and we have like 1.2 that I'm going to talk about later that is kind of relevant to him. But yeah, so airbending, too good. Water bending, also too good. And I didn't really fully understand this last week, and I'm going to lead this into my next point of kind of like the zero build meta / like my own personal journey with the game. Maybe I'll like incorporate a little bit of my own self into this. But the water bending is too good, and the reason why is, and I didn't know, is so folks, for my entire gaming career, 95%, because there's like a couple games I played on mouse and keyboard, I've been playing on a controller. And I just recently switched last week to not a keyboard, but an Azeron keypad, gamepad, whatever you want to call it. It has a thumbstick, it has 29 programmable buttons, and then I am using a mouse, of course. So I'm no longer playing controller, basically is what I'm saying. And the reason why I bring this up right now when I'm talking about the water bending is because on controller, water bending is honestly, it's okay, it's fine. But with a mouse, oh my god, those. I didn't know what these mouse and keyboard players were hiding, folks. I'm here from the other side to report back to all the controller players. Guys, they got it good. I hate to say we now have it good. If you're on the mouse and keyboard side, we have it good. The way that you can aim like just tiny little minuscule amounts makes the third person element of this weapon negligible. You have a nice dot on screen, and there's next to no drop, and the bullet travel time / projectile travel time is very, very fast. So it's an amazing, amazing weapon. The water bending on mouse is so good. So good. And I kind of just wanted to talk about that in general. So, guys, like, once again, I'm here to report back to all controller players out there. I didn't know how good it was. Like, I knew it was going to be better in some regards, but I didn't know how good that having a mouse would be over a joystick. I mean, it is really unbelievable. The fact that you can move the cursor like a pixel, or you can move it incredibly fast, way faster than even top sensitivity thumbstick control, which I've tried, without boost. You know, I'm talking no boosting at all. And yeah, mouse is just so much easier, and I'm a little bit, I don't know, I almost feel like controller players need a little bit more now. You know, they're already limited on how many inputs you have, and now realizing exactly how much better aim is on a mouse is like, oh man, I feel bad. I feel like I went to the dark side. I really do. I went to the dark side, but I'm here for good now. On top of that, like, there's another one weapon, not even just the water bending, that I got much better with, like literally overnight by switching to mouse, was the deagle. Now the deagle, I feel like I can actually use. I'm gonna have another clip on screen now of my best deagle clip ever. I was stunned when I got this. I actually, for the first time ever while streaming, used the phrase, yo, someone clip that, because I could not believe that we had actually got that. So shout out, thank you, Neb, for clipping that for me. But yeah, deagle is a little too good on mouse as well. Like, that was another gun where on controller, I couldn't hit a single shot ever, I felt like. But now on mouse, it feels very easy. So I'm gonna have to maybe go back and play some controller sometimes just to like know what's good and what's not, you know, on like different input methods. That would be a good experiment to do. But for now, we're going to stick to our one method as we're like really trying to learn it. So next talking point is going to be the Thunderburst SMG. This is definitely a gun that I cannot lie, I've absolutely slept on for the entirety of chapter 5, and like watching players like Xeraxis and others, I mean really him, have like gotten me to be like, oh man, it really is like that good, isn't it? And the reason why it's so good compared to say like a Warforged or holding something like EMPs is that you can, the hip fire is so good that you really can just use it flying in on someone with like a shockwave play. And if you, while it's not the best at taking out vehicles, so like vehicles are still a little bit stronger against you, whereas like EMPs or Warforged, you can just blow it up or you can just disable it. The Thunderburst hipfire is so unbelievably good that I now have had my eyes opened up to it. The thing that I didn't fully get for the longest time is how the perfect accuracy works on it. So most guns in Fortnite that are third person, you will like, if you stop moving, the reticle will get small enough that it's kind of the perfect accurate fire. So when I put the laser sight on the gun initially, I was like, okay, do I have to like stop moving to get it to be perfect fire? If so, this doesn't really seem very good. So I recorded some footage just for this part of the video, but I'm in red versus blue playing with the Thunderburst, and I put the laser on it, and when you shoot the gun is when the reticle actually goes to completely accurate, which is so weird and so different to me. So you'll notice me moving around and just kind of like the reticle is normally spaced, as I would say, but then when I actually fire the gun, it closes in. That's very different to me, and that I didn't know how it worked for the longest time. I'm sorry, that was a little jumbled up, but hopefully you guys get what I'm saying. I thought it was like most guns where the reticle was as small as possible when you were moving the least, but with this gun, it actually gets smaller when you fire the gun, which is completely backwards from every other gun, which is why I was so hesitant to praise this weapon and to use this weapon. But yeah, I've been using it with a drum mag because the reload time is still under 2.5 seconds. I put the muzzle brake on it, and I still use it with a 1.3x because, as you can see, it does still get some good ADS gunfire as well when you want to. This is just like a bit of a random thing out there, but the Grimgate medallion is too good. Like that, the one medallion shouldn't be so much better than all the other medallions. I was listening to watching Evolve Jake stream earlier today. Shout out to Evolve Jake. Wouldn't be making videos if it wasn't for someone like him. And he was saying things like he didn't like augments because some were way better than others. And like I definitely agree that things like you know, on the go bag where you would potentially get shockwaves out of anything that you opened was much more powerful than like, you know, first shot accuracy from an assault rifle. Like we're not actually like, first bullet got extra damage, I should say. You know, like those two perks were definitely nowhere near one another, where like one is like top tier, you almost need to get it every game if you want to be like as powerful as possible, and the other one's just like take it or leave it. So the Grimgate medallion, I feel like it's kind of like that. It to me it's so powerful, I feel like I need to go for it every single game. It kind of has ruined the versatility of how I can drop, where I feel like I'm landing Grimgate every single game now. Every single game. The only games that I was not landing Grimgate this season are the ones where I was not confident enough to fight off the rip and just try to, you know, take over the POI, which was, you know, sometimes maybe during the very beginning of the season or during times when I feel like I wasn't playing my best, or times like when I had just switched to the mouse and keyboard last week, you know, like the first few days, I was like, I'm gonna land a little softer for now, you know, I'm not gonna go quite as hot. And, you know, now, but we're just right back to Grimgate because I feel like we need to get that Cerberus medallion every single game. It is is so powerful to have. This is the fact that it's like free shockwaves, basically, because every time you just get a hit on somebody, you can just easily close the gap with the Cerberus dashes, and it's just a little bit too powerful. I think maybe the best way to nerf it would be have the dashes come back a little bit slower. Like, they come back every 10 seconds, which is insane. Maybe every 20 seconds for a dash to come back. I don't know, but it's just a little too good. I think it should be nerfed, personally. You could also buff the other ones as well. I think the Hades one is so weak, just way too weak, man. Make it like 100 Siphon. That would make it worth it. 100 Siphon would make it worth it, in my opinion. So they should do that. I think the Zeus is actually like perfectly balanced as is, and I think the combat medallion is a little bit too weak as well. Like, maybe give it a, I think that it should be a buff on all weapons, not just ranged weapons. So your shotguns, your everything should get buffed. That's what I think. That'd be a nice way too to maybe bump the hammer pump as well. Like, that could give it some additional value. People can be like, all right, maybe I'll go for, and people press to use the auto because, like, why not? But yeah, or maybe give it like a first shot damage buff in like a close range situation or with close range weapons. I don't know, but I think that the Hades and Ares medallion should get buffed, and that would be a good way as well to nerf the Grim Gate medallion if you wanted to keep it exactly as is. So real quick, one thing that I didn't really mention last week is that, you know, I was talking about how gold is like really hard to come by now that the Midas chickens and all that are gone. I used to just, you know, go and buy a lot of shockwaves from, say, like Medusa or whoever is nearby, and that is very draining for shockwaves right now. It costs 600 for a full stack of shocks, which is just a lot. You know, back in chapter 4 season 4, it cost you 108 for a full stack of 6 shocks. Shout out to KBM NPC on the map near the racetrack. That was a good time to play the game. So right now, what I've actually been veering off to is playing the supply specialist NPC. My preferred one to go to is right over at Snooty Steps. He lands right at the bottom, kind of down by the shore, and here he spawns down there, I should say. And I will land down there, and I will try to get him almost immediately. And then my first goal is to try and find 1-2 stack of shocks as soon as I can. And if you can do that, you hold them out when he is ready to give you something, and he is likely to give you shockwaves if you're holding them out. He drops them in stacks of 3. You have damn near infinite shockwaves if you do it this way. So I like playing this. I've gotten to endgame a lot with him because he doesn't really do things that make people target him. He doesn't ping. He doesn't, what are like some other annoying things? He doesn't throw grenades. You know, he doesn't do things that make people be like, let me kill this one. He shoots his gun a little bit, you know, but he's not like out there guns ablazing. He's mainly there to give you resources. So I like the supply specialist NPC a lot. It's a great substitute for just using a lot of gold right now. Honestly, I'm still looking forward to the Star Wars update, mainly just so the current mythics get vaulted. I kind of miss also beaming people who would misuse the wings. So I'm looking forward to the old items coming back and the current ones getting vaulted. Once again, I think the airbending is a little bit too busted. Yeah, we also got a couple extra NPCs that sell shockwaves and NPCs, but they're at very random locations on the map. Like, they're at top left or top right parts of the map. Like, I never go there. And I feel like the NPC locations are just as valuable as, or just as important as what they sell. So I'm a little disappointed in that. I wish that they had dropped them down like more center maps so that I could actually rotate in and use them. But yeah, there's some extra NPCs, I guess. Current state of the game, I would still give it a 6 out of 10. Honestly, that's what we gave it last week. I was like, what did I give it last week? 6 out of 10? I think it's still a 6 out of 10. Look back to last week's episode, folks, if you want to see all those changes. That's basically all I would say for what I'd want to change. You know, all I'm doing right now is crossing my fingers that the Star Wars items aren't more OP than the Avatar items, but you never know with that, big man, and Star Wars is notorious for some very powerful things, so I'm not holding my breath on that. This is my weekly request for Epic to please just vault the Reaper Sniper Rifle. It is still the best gun in the game by far, and at the very least, if it doesn't get vaulted, please, I mean, like, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but please don't leave it in for a 3rd season in a row. I'm just gonna start saying it now. Please do not leave it in for a 3rd season in a row. Please, Epic, get rid of it now or just eventually, please. And one quick final really update from last week's request that I've noticed some players doing is if you're dealing with someone in the Grim Gate underworld area and they're kind of dashing around with the green water a lot and you're having a tough time killing them, which I have in the past and I'm sure everyone has at least dealt with at least, you know, a little bit, is to try to periodically try to get good / comfortable with shooting while you are underwater. And what I mean by that is when you dash forward, like if you guys are dashing and you kind of land in the water so that you can refresh your dashes every time, you're going to land and kind of dip down below the surface. In that moment, you're kind of a little too low to jump up and dash anyway. So if you can stop, ADS, and take a few pop shots at your opponent just for the sake of, if not trying to kill them, to not let their overshield come back, so that when you do eventually catch up to them, you are in a much better position. I've seen a few better players doing this, and something that I'm going to try and start implementing into my gameplay as well. But yeah, please consider that as an option. I know it's a very fast-paced, high-skill option, but it's something that I've seen players do, and it's definitely stopped them from having to chase someone for like minutes at a time, and like the fight maybe lasts like, you know, 30 to 45 seconds instead, which is still insane because these dashes are way too powerful. Please, you know, put some kind of cooldown on that, Epic. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it at today. Please stop by the streams if you guys want to, you know, talk about more stuff throughout the week, because we stream almost every day. Also, please sub if you want to be notified when we go live. Our Discord link is in the description for even better update. And yeah, comment what you think of the zero build meta, like if you want to see more, and we will catch you on the next one. Thank you all, everybody. Have a good one.